Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to How to Deliver a Winning Pitch with Precious Williams, the pitch killer. Sorry for the delay. We're celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week 2018, Canada, USA, Caribbean diaspora, Caribbean in the Caribbeans, USA, the world, entrepreneurs worldwide. Welcome and join us for how to deliver a killer pitch. Precious, kill the pitch.
You ready for me?
Yes. Ready.
Good day, everyone. My name is Precious Williams, and I am the founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. And I'm a world-class master communicator. Now, as a world-class master communicator, I'm also affectionately known as the hashtag killer pitch master. And why is that? Because I'm a 13-time killer champion, 13-time elevator pitch champion. I have taken pitching to the next level completely. And that has gotten me out of the hood of the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri, to living in New York City. So when I tell you that these are the pitching tips, techniques, and tricks that you need to craft the killer pitch, let's get ready. So our agenda for today is to let you know the goals, the top 5 pitching techniques, answer any of your questions, and decide about moving forward, okay? So our goals for today are to learn the fundamentals of successful pitching. 5, count it, 5 bold pitching and presentation techniques that get investors interested in you, networking groups interested in you, and also media getting interested in you and taking notice of you. And I also want to share with you how to boldly embrace your purpose and walk in your authentic light. Now, Perfect Pitches by Precious is a company that was started by me in 2013 after I finished my career as a pitch champion. And as the killer pitch master, I help you slay all competition. And I've done that 13 out of 14 times. So Perfect Pitches by Precious is a consulting agency that provides speech communication solutions for women entrepreneurs and startups who struggle with bringing their next big ideas, products, and services to market. Now, you're probably wondering, I'm not sure if I get that. What I do is help women entrepreneurs get out of their own way and take their speech communication skills to the next level. So if you've been struggling with trying to put together an elevator pitch and it's quite pitiful, I take you from pitiful to powerful. I take you from where you are in the struggle to get attention, to get the big boys to pay attention to you, to get people and your customers and clients to buy right now. That is what I do for mostly women entrepreneurs. I'm a global entrepreneur. I've worked with companies, Fortune 500, Fortune 100, and Fortune 50 companies around the world. So it's very important to me that I come up with the creative solutions that take your speech communications right where they need to be in order for you to step into your greatness, okay? So who am I? I am Precious Williams, the hashtag killer pitch master. Now, as I already said, I'm a world-class master communicator. I'm a 13-time elevator pitch champion, former attorney, and an international professional speaker. The big thing to know about me is I've appeared on the international show Shark Tank, where I was successful in meeting my goal. I've been in the Wall Street Journal, CNN, MSNBC. I've been in Black Enterprise Magazine. I've been in the New York Daily News. I've been in Essence Magazine and a host of other top television shows and publications. So if you want to ask me about how the experience is, how did I have a private audition for Shark Tank that I never stood in line? How did I get the big boys interested in me when I didn't have an agent? How was I able to do that? You're going to learn today. The first technique in how to craft the killer pitch is to know your why. Now, I'm not going to read everything off of here, but I definitely want you to be thinking about this. You have to know your why. And I know Simon Sinek wrote a book like Starting with Why, something similar to that. But I want you to understand why that's important. Once you know your why did you start your company? Why is your business important? Why does it help certain people and not others? once you know your why, that's going to help you get through the tough times. And also, when you know why you're doing something, it helps you create a fundamental baseline for how to start a pitch. Now, when I talk to my clients, it's always important, always, always, always important that they know why they're in business. And it can't be just to make money. It has to be some kind of global impact, some type of national impact. It's something you want to see happen with entrepreneurs, customers, and clients, right? Now, for me, I started my first company, Curvy Girls Lingerie, when I was 327 pounds. Yes, you heard it, 327 pounds. I am so not that today. I'm so not. But I started a lingerie company, and I thought about it. It wasn't just for me because I was 327 pounds and dating a Hollywood actor. It was because I never wanted another curvy girl to feel like I felt like I was worthless and useless because I had more meat on my bones. So I started saying, oh, I'm a big girl. Or I heard people say big girls need love too. What I wanted people to know was that we are full-figured divas and plus-size fashionistas. Take the big girl, fat girl, all out of that. We are not about that life. And what we became was the ultimate shopping experience for full-figured divas and plus-size fashionistas. When I was on Shark Tank and said that, when I tell you, the men just was like, what? Robert Herjavec said to me, you are a master salesman. You're a master at this. I said, well, I've been in business since 2011, but I became a master at professional speaking when I was 16 years old. So again, what is your why? Who are you here to serve? Why do you want to serve them? Why? What does your product or service do to help other people? Why are you committed to being the ultimate resource in your market, in your target market? And again, what makes you different from other competitors? Do you know why Curvy Girls was different? Because we looked at curvy girls in a different light. Not that they have to be ashamed of their curves. It's time to embrace your curves. We are full-figured divas on a mission. And that mission is to dominate the world. And when there are over 40 million women size 14 or larger in the United States, just like me, we all want pretty underwear. It's just too bad the most mainstream lingerie companies don't create any products for women my size. So that's where I come in. Curvy Girls Lingerie. At Curvy Girls Lingerie with the ultimate shopping experience. Full-figured divas and plus-size fashionistas. And that you heard 40 million women. That's a lot of women. That's a big market. You know what I mean? So start with your why and know it deep down. Know it. Technique number 2, master your story. Now, when I tell you, people can tell stories, and that's how children learn. That's how children learn about life, morals, values, and all sorts of things. But it's also how adults learn too. When you're watching a movie, there is a story. There is the hero's journey. There is someone who went from nothing to something and all the pitfalls that happen within. So I need you to master your story of why you started your business, your story of why you are the best resource for that market. Why, and when you know your story deep down, and it can't be the story of, from your childhood. It has to be something that's relatable to other people. So I start off by saying, set the scene in your audience's mind. For example, I'll give you an example. Ladies, it's Valentine's Day, and you finally met the man of your dreams. You know what time it is. It's time to find some sexy, sexy, sexy lingerie to set the mood off nicely. But you weigh over 200 pounds. What's a big girl in the city supposed to do? Now, if you're anything like me, you went to Victoria's Secret, and you found out that they don't even make a bra in your size. So then you went to Ashley Stewart and Lane Bryant, and you didn't really like the selection. Finally, as a last resort, you went to Macy's, where your choices were black, beige, and white. Again, what's a big girl supposed to do? Well, that's why I created Curvy Girls Lingerie. Setting the scene. It was Valentine's Day. Every woman can relate to at least wanting a gift, wanting some loving, wanting some cuddling, wanting to feel like she is valuable and important. And that's how you do it. You set a scene, a relatable scene that people can get into. And it can be startling. It can be controversial. But don't forget, set the scene. Be bold and unexpected. Now, no one expected a 327-pound woman to get on stage and rock it. And I did. And I always dressed for the occasion. You know, I had this famous actor I dated. He always used to say, if you eat cheap food, you got to wear expensive clothes. And I always thought that was so funny. But I was like, you know, I rose to the occasion. I was the best dressed woman on those stages because I didn't want people to assume that, you know, because I have a little bit more weight on my bones than most, that I was going to look sloppy. You got to embrace who you are. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Be bold. So I wore hot pink, hot purple, hot blue. You see my hair? It's red. It's not even like a normal red because I want you to stand out. Be bold and unexpected about your dressing style, how you talk, how you think, how you look at the world. And number 3, know and study your audience. Whoever you're going to pitch in front of, I need you to know them like the back of your hands. I need you to know what their likes and dislikes are, who they invest in, you know, what type of customer do you really want? How can you serve them? And then what are their pain points? Because that's how you help create a killer pitch. Technique number 3, captivate and titillate your audience. Now, if you look to the side, you can see this thing that says, this meme that says, be somebody nobody thought you could be. Now, as a woman from the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri, I grew up unwanted by my mother, unwanted by my father, a joke, you know, very skinny because we had no food. Like, I'm telling you, I was not supposed to be where I am today. I was not supposed to be Shark Tank. I was not supposed to be in a movie in Hollywood. I was not supposed to be on these television shows because no one showed me the way. But deep down, the Lord said to me that I'm going to be somebody at 5 years old. And I just had to keep going. And that's what keeps me going because I want other women entrepreneurs to feel the same way. I don't care where you've come from. I don't care where your background is. Who you are today is not who you're going to be in the future. So make sure that when you're crafting your pitch, you're captivating your audience into your story. Yes, I know what it's like to eat out of garbage cans. Yes, I know what it's like to be homeless, no heat, no hot water, no electricity. But I don't live that life today because I just knew. I just knew. So you want to grab your investors, your clients, your customers' attention in the first 10 seconds of your pitch. And I just gave you just a mini pitch of what got me on the Shark Tank. You want to start off with a bang and end with fireworks, right? You want to start off. You want to ask a question, throw out a quote, throw out something that's startling, that's going to have people stand in their tracks. I think they call that pattern interrupt. Like if they're thinking you're going to get up there, hi, my name is Precious Williams. Name of my company is Perfect Pitches by Precious. We just help women entrepreneurs speak better. Boring. You don't want to be boring. You want to stand out. Wow. Stand out. So, and remember, passion changes everything. I love speaking. I love speaking to women entrepreneurs. I love to speak to entrepreneurs, period. And that energy and that enthusiasm is what catches people. And it's quite contagious. Do not, if you're writing a pitch and you don't feel something, you don't feel, then you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. It's time for you to embrace what it is that you brought into this world, what you were brought on this earth to do. And I want you, number 4 on the technique number 3 is challenge the status quo. Challenge what they say about Black women. Challenge what they say about Caribbean women. Challenge what they say about people of color. Challenge what they say about our educational background or our experience or what we bring to the table. Challenge it head on. No shrinking violets. No just, I can't. No, challenge it. When you challenge the status quo, it can make people uncomfortable, but one thing's for certain, 2 things for sure, you will stand out. You won't be cookie cutter, and you won't be someone that they'll forget about. I just want you to think about that. Technique number 4, know your numbers. I can spend all day talking about your numbers, but you know what I mean by know your numbers. You know what I mean. You have to know, why would somebody be interested? This is strictly for if you want investors in your company, but know your numbers. And even Even if you're, in a pitch competition, you still have to know your numbers. You have to know the basics of why your company will be profitable, sustainable, and scalable. I'm not going to spend too much time on the numbers part, but I just want you to truly know your numbers. Know your numbers so well that when they ask you questions, you're not caught off guard. If someone asks you, what's the cost of goods sold? Or, what was your revenue? What was your revenue last year? What are you on pace to earn this year? You got to know these things. You got to know where you are in the process. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on know your numbers because that's a given. That's a given. But when you're talking to your potential customers and clients, and they're for service businesses and organizations, you have to look like you're worth people paying to receive your service. If you look like a schlub, if you look like you're not on point, if you look like you're desperate for that last $200, most people are not going to want to work with you. So I just want you to know, show up like the numbers you want to have or the numbers that you do have, right? Most people show up the way they want to look to the world. And I would advise you, show up like you mean it, whether your numbers reflect it or not. Technique number 5. This is partly just one of my favorites because I think people forget about it. Megan, am I good on time?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So technique number 5, your secret weapon. Now, I'm an African-American woman from the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri, as I told you. I was once 327 pounds. I have an accent, in case you haven't noticed. I have an accent. What I want to say to all of you who are thinking you can't do it, you're a wallflower, you're too much of an introvert, you don't have anything to say, you can't do anything. Let me tell you something. Your perceived flaws are your secret weapon. Let me tell you, they'll never see you coming. When I used to walk on stages, they would look at me as, oh, that's a little fat black woman, till I killed it. Let me tell you something. My accent is not going anywhere. It's just not. I've been all over the world. It's not going anywhere. Me being an African-American woman, you can discount me, but I'll still rise above. Whatever pathetic baseline you have for me, I know what I have on the inside. You perceive me to be less qualified and less educated. I'm a former attorney. I've worked for some of the biggest law firms in the country. I've worked for a federal judge in the Southern District. I've worked for the ACLU National Legal Department. I've worked for a lot of different she places. So you can't tell that by looking at me, but do know that I have that gift and that ability. I've been to the bottom. I've been up with Sir Richard Branson and his business partner, Les Brown. I've been on stage with people you will never believe because people's perceived flaw of me wasn't my flaw, wasn't the way I saw myself. I saw myself as a full-figure diva who's taking on the world. I still feel that way. Yeah. So I want you to know, if you have an accent, so what? Because I'm bad. You know it. Come on. And the whole world has to answer right now to tell you once again who's bad. Number 2, speak authentically. As you know, I speak in a certain tone, in a certain manner. I do not sound like a lot of speakers because I learned how to be a speaker by speaking. I was never trained. I just learned how to do it. And I've spoken before governors of this country. I've spoken before mayors. I've spoken in front of a lot of different television audiences. And they love it because I'm really me. And I love being me. And I love showing that you don't have to look like Bobby, Susie, or you don't have to look like any of those people. You just have to show up your best version of yourself. And people will resonate. I am not the logical speaker. I'm the emotional speaker. I will hit you in your heart, not here. Most decisions are emotional, not logical. Number 3, own your magic. Own whatever the Lord has sprinkled to you. Own it. Own it. Own it. If you have a bold personality, I suggest you just, hey, embrace it. If you are an introvert, it's okay too. It's okay. Love yourself and love yourself enough to know you deserve to be in any room you want to be in. Any room, with anyone, at any time, and at any place. And number 4, remember, it's showtime. So when you are pitching, it's showtime. No time to stumble. No time to, think that you need this, that, and the other. No, it's showtime. Don't let perfection be the enemy of good. Good will take you places that perfection will never take you because you can't sustain perfection. That's what a lot of Hollywood people, a lot of rappers, they find out. Trying to put on this persona, you will be found out for who you really are. Even if it takes a little time, it's showtime. Show up like the best version of you. And I don't know if you can see on the side, it says, you did not wake up today to be mediocre. No, you did not. You showed up to be extraordinary. Don't lose your real self in the search for acceptance by others. No, not at all. Wear your freak flag well and fearlessly be yourself. Fearlessly. Own your inner Beyonce. And so these are the ways to stay in contact with me. Here's my contact information. www.perfectpitchesbyprecious.com. And these are the other ways to stay in contact with me. On Facebook, I'm Perfect Pitches by Precious. On Twitter, I'm at Perfect Pitch P. On Instagram, I am at Perfect Pitches P. And on LinkedIn, I'm Precious Williams. I do want to say something. I think it's very important that if you want to stay in contact with me, follow what's going on my website. I offer free tips, techniques, and tricks that will take your pitching to the next level. I also offer a free 15-minute challenge session with me. Whatever your challenge is, whatever you're thinking about, I will give you at least one actionable step that will take you from where you are right now to where you want to be. Any questions?
Could you repeat where you're free?
Where I'm what?
Where you're free?
Where my free thing is on my site?
No, you just said to the audience.
Oh, fly your freak flag.
Oh, fly your freak flag. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. I just wanted you to say that again.
So don't let your inner colors out. Don't be like conform. Don't conform. The people that make it are the people that are different and embrace difference.
Mm-hmm. Thanks so much, Precious, on this first GEW with Magate, Wildhorse, and the community of practice for Caribbean immigrants, entrepreneurs, as well as our other sponsors, the Caribbean Camel, the South Florida Caribbean News. I hope Futurepreneur is the partner for the host for GW Canada and Global Entrepreneurship Week. Global Entrepreneurship Network is who gave us this event. So I just want to say thank you. And you're a member of the community of practice for Caribbean immigrant entrepreneurs. What do you think?
I didn't hear you at all. I didn't hear the last part.
You are a new member of the Caribbean, of the community of practice for Caribbean immigrant entrepreneurs. Because
right.
We're embracing our sisters and brothers in different places. How do you feel about the community of practice?
I think that becoming a part of this global community is wonderful. I think that when we stretch out from our borders, that's when we really get to see the beauty of life and the beauty of business and the beauty of, accessing different people who normally would never have heard of you before. And I think that as long as we stay strong, we support one another, we listen, we go to the Global Entrepreneurship Week activities, you can't help but be impressed and feel like I'm a part of this. And I'm so thankful and so honored, just so grateful and so honored. I thank you, Jesus, for making this happen. And thank you so much, Megan. Thank you for this opportunity.
For your gift to us, and thank you for embracing the vision of the community practice. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.